It's a big difference. He anchors their defense. He's a double-double guy in the Big 12. Those numbers alone make you an NBA prospect. He's a great shot blocker, one of the top 3 or 4 in the league. Then on offensively, he can score facing the basket, back to the basket, or get offensive rebound, putback. So he's a individual player in this conference that I really have a lot of respect for and like. I'm not looking forward to coaching against him, but I am looking forward to watching his career after Baylor. I think he's a pro.
I know you've been talking about it for a little bit, but what's it like just kind of see Tommy and Norrance just kind of really kind of step in and finally kind of see themselves succeeding, and now with the confidence on offense and just on the rebounding end as well?
Yeah, both Tommy and Norrance have had great moments this season. There's been a lot of games, if you look back, that Norrance was the best player we had and Tommy was the best player we have on the floor at times. But now, when both of them can find some consistency, whether it be Tommy with his offense lately and Norrance with his rebounding and getting some post touches. If both those guys can play well together, then it only strengthens our team.
With Maston for them, he got really hot in that second half against Texas the other night. What's it been, the difference having him back, and how they've kind of played a little bit different since that?
Yeah, those of us in the Big 12 that follow it closely and know the players, just like several of you, Maston's one of the best players in the Big 12. He's the classic kind of undersized big is what we say in the coaching world, but that just means he's – I don't know what that means, undersized. That's what they said about Andre Emmett. I don't know. He's just a mismatch problem. He can do some things on the perimeter against bigger guys, and he can dominate smaller players in the post. He's very, very talented. He's one of those guys that could, play in the NFL next year if he chose to, or play in the NBA next year if he chooses to. So he's a special talent in the Big 12. And, coaching against him, you prepare and you try to work and you hope and pray that he doesn't have one of those 30-point games he's capable of.
Those guys were Baylor. They were 2-7, 2 weeks ago. Now they've ripped off 4 straight. What do you think's been the biggest difference here for them in the last 2 weeks?
I think Scott Drew. I think you got to give Coach a lot of credit. It's his personality. He never – think about it. You guys have been following his teams for forever, right? He never gets too high when they've had great success, whether it be being the number 1 team in the country. I think that was last year, making grade 8s, making the tournament almost every year, or times of struggle when he was building the program and they were going through obvious adversity, or maybe even this year, just like all of us. We have kind of bumps along the way, but I think Baylor's teams always take Coach Drew's personality, and when your team takes your personality, it's a special deal because it means everybody's on the same page. And I think this year's Baylor's team is just another example. Thought they were dead in the water a few weeks ago. I wasn't one of those people. I knew what was going to happen. I think I said at this very table that they were going to be a part of the fight. You can look it back up in the archives, Carlos. So it's just, I think it's good players with a good coach that understands how to win.
Coach, you said whenever Baylor's obviously playing their best ball of the year right now, do you think your team is playing the best ball of the year right now?
I don't know. It's a good question. As coaches, we're just, we're never satisfied. I think that we can play a lot better. I understand that we're winning some games right now and we got some individual players playing well, but I just, what I sit around and think about is, can we get everybody going? Can Naeem have that game with Norrance and then Keenan do his thing and Justin do his thing? And if we could ever get everybody playing individually as well as you can play, and then together as a team, let's go execute a game plan. Let's play together. Let's trust each other. Then you can have some special nights, and that's ultimately what it turns into in March. It's everybody's good. It's just who plays the best.
On the sheet, Baylor, they're one of those teams that they really dominate in rebounding, especially on the offensive side of rebounding. What have you told your team on how to stop that and just battling in the paint and stuff like that?
Yeah, that's Baylor's identity. Their length and their athleticism, and they rebound. They're a +8 rebound team on the season, +4 or 5 in the Big 12, which is really hard to do in this league. To get 4 or 5 more rebounds than your opponent every night is really tough. So with our guys, we can't stop that. We want to compete. We want to compete. We want to rebound with them. We want to be aggressive on both ends, and we want to make sure it's a game that we just don't get dominated on the glass. Because if we do, no chance. You have to rebound with Baylor to have a chance.
Coach, you talked about earlier just today that it's not a lock, but talk about you said earlier in the season you don't want to get too high, you don't want to get too low. After the 3 out of 4 losses that you had this in 3 out of 4 games, you had losses, and you said we're not going to get too low, we're just going to keep it going. How do you maintain the process when you're on a 7-game winning streak?
Well, that's the answer, the process. So the guys fueled their bodies at breakfast. Got guys trying to maintain weight. We got guys trying to gain weight. We got guys trying to lose a little weight. Coaching staff has several of those members. Few of you guys could join that group too. I can say those things because I'm one of those people too. Then we got guys that get individual shots up, lift weights today. Guys have been in the training room. Of course, you got to go to class. Got guys that have already been to study hall today. Other guys will go to study hall tonight. So it's just the process, and this is how you. This is just our plan. So today's another day to go through the process, and then tomorrow same thing. And this is how we go about business.
No, Zach was off the scooter. I guess, do you have any updates on him and what his prognosis is so far?
Yeah, so with Zach, as you guys know, the cast has been off for a few days now, and we just continue to X-ray or MRI it or scan it, whatever they call that these days, and just continue to watch the bone heal. And then a lot of this is in God's hands, like some people's bodies heal quicker than others. But on the other hand, what we can control, we're doing everything we possibly can. Zach is in that training room all the time. He's being careful with it. He's doing bone grafts and calcium. And, I'm a big fan of True Mood chocolate milk. I think it's borderline milkshake good. And Zach has learned how to appreciate milk like I have.
I guess in terms of Zach, is this a little bit quicker than you thought he'd be back? Or I guess what was it initially? Or has it just been, like you said, just kind of wait and see how it kind of –
Yeah, just wait and see. When you've coached as long as I have, you just learn how to – earlier in my career, good player get hurt. Boy, I'd be in that training room every day. And, but now it's like you got to trust the people that are doing that. Chris Williams is the best trainer I've ever worked with. And that's no disrespect to Andrea and Big Mike. I mean, I've had some really good ones. But Chris gets it. It's all about the players. It's not a job to Chris. It's a lifestyle. So Chris is up here at 11 p.m., 2 a.m., 4 a.m., whatever it takes. And then with Dr. Scoville and all the doctors here, I have a lot of confidence and faith in those people.
They just adapted. Like Coach said, they had 4-game winning streak, so they're playing really well right now. I think Matson was injured or just came back from injury, first time playing versus us. So, that was his first time back, in action or in anything. He kind of just hopped right into the game. So I know, he's been working on his game, getting in shape. And he looks really good right now, so it's going to be, a pretty tough matchup. But, they've had, other pieces to their team that have added to their winning streak, and they're gelling really well right now.
Generally, I guess, what do they do well?
They push in transition. LeCompte's a deadly shooter. Anytime he gets a chance, he's deadly from beyond the arc. They have a great inside game. They also have, a couple forwards that can shoot the 3 as well. And their zone is really good. That's what they, pride themselves on. So, we got to look how to attack that the right way. We're going to attack that in practice today and see, what gaps we can get into, what are going to be the open passes. So, it's just a lot of things that are going to go into this game. But primarily, we're going to keep, what we've been doing, for this stretch that we've been winning games, which is playing defense and getting points off our turnovers.
Justin, you guys have played good three-point defense all year long, but these last 4 games, it seems like y'all have really even ramped it up a further notch and really clamped down harder on things around the perimeter. Why do you think that is?
It's just the mindset. Coach Beard always tells us before every game, it's a mindset to want to play defense, a mindset to want to shut somebody down. You're not just born with, defensive talent. You got to want to play defense. So, I think whenever we go out there, everybody that's on the court, whoever it may be, is destined and, determined to, get those stops. Just eager, to win that individual battle with whoever they're guarding.
Can you also speak to here these last 3 games, how much you guys play really hard all the time, but have really seemed to ramp it up in the second half and kind of take things to the next level as a team?
Yeah, it's February. And Coach Beard always says, this is the time of month, where teams are seeing who's going to go to the tournament, who's going to make a run. This is where you see real teams, become who they are. And, I think we're finally hitting our stretch, and everybody's playing well. People are starting to come out, play their roles the right way, and we're just gelling, right now. We're also playing defense really well. So when you add those offensive parts mixed with defensive parts, we're a tough team to beat.
Justin, piggybacking off of that, the front court played extremely well in the second half against Oklahoma. How important will it be to start that way, especially with their size and how well they rebound the ball?
It's going to be extremely important. We got to box out, defend really well in the paint, and win the rebounding battle. They're a great rebounding team. It's going to be tough, but if we stick to fundamentals and whatever Coach Beard asks of us, I think we'll be fine.
Justin, a lot of teams go through this roller coaster of a season, and you all have been going from a high this entire time. How is that carrying into the last stretch until March?
We're really not paying attention to the past games. We did what we had to do in those past games, and we won. And we're just focused on every game and take every game as it comes. Take one day at a time, one game at a time. And right now we're focused on Baylor for Saturday, and that's all we're focused on.
Justin, 2 years ago, you helped lead this team to the NCAA tournament. You guys were building to get to that pretty much all season. At this point, it's almost a lock. Can you compare and contrast those two teams and what it's like being on both of them?
It's not a lock, my man.
Yeah, it's never a lock.
All but a lock.
Yeah, never a lock. But some similarities I see between those two teams is leadership. We had a lot of young leadership on that team. Also with Todrick Gocher, being a senior, he was a great part in that. But we were just playing for one another, and that's what I finally feel with this team. Everybody's playing for one another. If one person messes up on a defensive mistake, somebody's over there to help them out. And those are the little things that we were doing while we made that run 2 years ago. And we were just having fun playing the game and enjoying the moment. That's one of the things Coach Beard always just tells us every game. Just enjoy the moment. We've worked hard for this, and we deserve this. And he always says just play in the moment, and the rest is history.
I asked this question to Norrance last week. 4 years ago, when you came to this program, it was at the bottom of the barrel for the Big 12. It was a mess. You have helped lead this team to the top of the Big 12. What does it say about what you can do when you build this kind of legacy here?
Man, it always comes down to the process. I was always determined. Keenan, myself, Norrance, Zach. We're always, through adversity, we always stuck together no matter what. Coaching changes, we stuck together. We believed, we trust in Coach Beard, trust who he's going to bring in. And, it just speaks to, our character. We didn't leave. We didn't want to leave. We wanted to, build this program from the ground up. And, you see where we're at now, having the time of our life, enjoying the moment. Fans are, enjoying every game of it. We got students lining up 2 hours before the game. And, I don't think I would have thought of that my freshman year, being in the position we're in. But, when Coach Beard first got here, he said it's going to happen. And everything that he said was going to happen is happening.
Everybody takes pride in making shots, but it seems, especially on the road, you guys take a bunch of pride in playing good defense. Last time you were on the road, you held Kansas State to 28% shooting in their own building. How much of that is Coach Adams, and what kind of pride do you guys take in making another team just extremely uncomfortable?
Yeah, Coach Adams is the best defensive coach in the country. For sure, 100%. I'm always in his office just looking at what I can learn, not even from, myself, just other players, other games, just whatever I can, dig into his brain and get just to get better on defensive end. He knows just so many things. And, we all trust him, and we're all committed, to his type of defense. And, sometimes, it's frustrating, what he wants. Sometimes Coach Beard breaks it down for us, but, we get it done. And, obviously you see we're one of the top defensive teams in the nation. And, that's all, credit due to Coach Adams and, his willingness to get us prepared for every game.